with me, but I think this has been my favorite hike so far. We're already getting some good scenery though, heading up towards the Alps. Bus isn't too crowded, air conditioning's working, so all good so far. Once you get here to Kamikochi via bus, there's no transportation, no cars here. So you gotta kind of lug your bags to wherever you're staying. So better be careful to see how far away your place is from the bus stops. Ours is only a 10-minute walk, but you have to lug your bags on the on this gravelly surface here near the Kappa Bridge. Sorry for the sound effects of lugging our bags here. This is kind of like the central point of Kamikochi here. It's where most of the tourists are. And this is kind of an interesting arrival to be navigating our baggage through this maze of people. Sumimasen. All right, here we go. Definitely packed too much on this trip. I wish I had a lighter suitcase. When you're traveling somewhere for a month, you think, oh, I better bring a lot of stuff. We've had good luck though finding laundry on this trip, so it hasn't really been too necessary. What a view, huh? Still some snow left up on the mountains. This is middle of June while we're here. So it looks like this might be the Nishi Itoya Mountain Lodge, which is where we have a reservation. They have all kinds of different rooms here. We couldn't get one with a private bathroom, so I think we're staying in like a rustic bunk room or something like that. I'm not quite sure, with a shared bathroom, which I'm not into, but you got to do what you got to do. This place it's a Saturday night, and most of the town was sold out. So let's take a look, see if we're in the right place. Konnichiwa. So we see at the beginning of the trail here, black bear was observed yesterday, 3:45 p.m. Number of bears, 1. Please walk away slowly without taking a picture if you encounter a bear. All right, we're gonna hike out to Myojin Pond area. We're gonna hopefully have some lunch. Weather's just about perfect. It's maybe about 65 degrees or so, something like that. Beautiful trail here. So this is Kemonji Goya restaurant. As you can see, we're kind of dining right outside here. They still have the vending machines though, even though you're kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. You're still use this vending machine to order, where you put your money in and then you say what you want. It's kind of a neat system. Cold soba, which is one of my favorites, smoked cheese, comes with this cold dipping sauce along with some grated yams. And that's what we got. I love this stuff. This tub full of cold beers here. You just, I guess, help yourself. They're about $3 each. Can't beat it. So the cold soba with mountain yams was 1,100 yen, which is, I don't know, $7, something in that range. So given the spectacular setting and that you can sit outside next to a little creek, I'd say it's quite a good deal. Got a monkey on the path here. See what he's gonna do. He's just sitting there chilling out. It's a cute little guy. Actually not that little. It's a pretty decent sized monkey. He sees me, but he doesn't seem too worried about me, this monkey. Japanese snow monkey, I think. I'm not gonna get that close to him. Tons of monkeys up here now, including one with a baby. monkeys all over the place here. To a feature point of this trail, the pond, and then you have to pay a 500 yen admission fee to move any further to see the pond, which is kind of petty, but it is what it is. Now people are waiting in line to take a photo here. Put your coins in, you pay your respects, and that's it. Crawling back on the other side of the river now, and it's lovely. There's a nice little boardwalk here for us. Couldn't be easier. Have all the bird song. As you start the trail, it shows you all the different birds of this area that you could spot if you had binoculars and a scope or were a very talented birder. But lovely hike. The trail just keeps getting better. More monkeys.
Do you guys see the ones wrestling back there?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like very sweet.
Well, those monkeys were right on the trail or next to it, so we weren't like pursuing them or anything, but we were walking on this trail and they were right here, and then all of a sudden one of those monkeys decided he did not want us around. This is our little room, a little bunk room with a Nishi Atoya. This is the cheapest category of room here, and it's still about $300 per night with half board, so we get dinner and breakfast. And it's a shared bath here, so you have your toilets, and there's a public bath, Japanese style bath. We've got 4 bunks, these little curtains, and I think I'm going to sleep on the floor in here because honestly the Japanese beds are very, very firm almost no matter where you go, and I like these Japanese style futons a lot better. I've been sleeping better in the places we've been on the floor than in actual beds, so I'm going to continue that trend, I think. Almost all the day trippers have gone home, so we think this is a good time to fly our drone because this Kappa Bridge, man, this thing was like full of selfie stick toting idiots like a couple of hours ago, but it's a little after 5 o'clock now. Unfortunately, it's gotten a little cloudy, but I've got my master drone flyer here, James, my son, who's 14 years old. He's quite good at flying this puppy, so we're gonna do a little drone flight here and see how it goes. Tourist hordes have all gone home, you know, by like 5 o'clock. All the day trippers are gone. Kamikochi becomes very nice and quiet. Now it's around 6:30. It's just our family here in this whole big area. almost everybody's gone home. We got it all to ourselves. Beautiful. So now the famous Kappa Bridge is empty, right, Jen? Pretty much?
Sunsets in that direction.
Famous Kappa Bridge. It's finally emptied out. Hundreds of selfie stick wheeling people on this earlier today. So this Kappa Bridge was named after a short story that's written by a famous Japanese author whose name I'm probably going to butcher. Ryunosuke Akutagawa. I'm gonna have to look that one up. This short story is set around Kamikochi and this bridge, and that's what it's named after. Apparently, it used to be a suspension bridge, but it was rebuilt a drawbridge, but it was rebuilt in 1910 as a suspension bridge, and refurbished in 1997. It's real beautiful. These are the Hida Mountains behind me. The highest peak over there is a little more than 3,000 meters, more than 10,000 feet, and I'm probably gonna miss the pronunciation on this, but it is called Mount Oku Hotakadake. Probably pronounced that wrong, but did my best. And this is part of the national park that's also not that easy to pronounce, called Chūbu-Sangaku. Chūbu-Sangaku National Park. Terrible pronunciation, but I'm trying, folks. 6 a.m. this morning, Kamikochi. It's about 55 degrees out. Usually when I'm out at 6 a.m. I've got someplace to myself. Not saying it's crowded, it isn't, but there's a surprising number of people out and about for 6 a.m. in Kamikochi. Birders, hikers. It rained last night. Hopefully the rain has finished passing through here. Hopefully it's going to be another beautiful day. It's hazy out this morning. You can't see the snow on the mountains yet. Still very pretty. Love Japanese food. Love Japanese food, but the traditional Japanese breakfast, just couldn't do it, man. Saw that stuff that they served us. You know, I've been eating a ton of salmon sushi here, which is mouth-watering. That was like a lukewarm piece of cooked salmon. It was not good. It's a salad that wasn't very good. There was a really gross yogurt there. There was some kind of a slimy potato thing. I love all kinds of potatoes. They said it was like a potato. It wasn't exactly a potato. I couldn't eat it. Couldn't eat any of that stuff. Damn, I'm hungry, so I'm searching for a second breakfast right now. I know I'm picky, what could I say? But talk about lack of flexibility in Japan. Wow. So we're staying in the annex of our hotel, and they said that in the annex there's only Japanese breakfast, Japanese style breakfast. In the main building of the hotel, there's Western breakfast with toast, bread, things that I'm familiar with. Will they let us eat there? Nope. Not unless we pay a lot more money to move our room to the main complex, like another $100 or something like that. Oh boy. Rather than try to make us happy and say, okay, you could have breakfast in the main room, or you could have breakfast in the main room for some upcharge. No, you have to actually move into the main building. Oh well, looking for some second breakfast. So far, can't find anything, but we'll see. Well, that was a pretty humble second breakfast. I went into the little campground restaurant and campground store there. You could always count on campgrounds to cater to cheapskates, right? And no, they weren't going to cook me any scrambled eggs or any of the things I was dreaming about, but they did have slices of frozen toast that for 90 yen, which is like 60 cents. And then I bought a pat of butter for 50, so for 140 yen, which is less than $1. And they had a toaster in there. I toasted it myself. So the guy walked me through that whole process of toasting my bread and stuff like that using their toaster. And then at the end, I said, oh, do you have a plate? No, he said, you'd have to buy a plate. I said, oh, don't think I'm going to buy a plate, but maybe you got a napkin. And he did find a napkin for me. So I ate my humble slice of toast on a napkin. They also did not have a knife to spread the butter, but that was okay. we at least got something to eat here. Speaking of the inflexibility of Japanese hotels and such, you know, the place where we're staying at, not only is it strictly Japanese breakfast, must be served, must be eaten at 7 a.m., which is not a problem for me because I love waking up super early, but you know, try getting a pair of teenagers, American teenagers, to get up for a 7 a.m. breakfast of lukewarm salmon and salad and a weird runny egg and a gross milky sort of yogurt. Ugh. Oh man. Good time. To Tokusawa Inn, and it's starting to sprinkle a little bit on us. So hopefully we don't get too wet. Rain stopped. It's probably 60 degrees. It's quite nice. Another nice little footbridge here we're going to try to get a drone flyover of. So roughly a 2-hour hike, hour and a half to 2-hour hike. You come to an inn with a restaurant called Tokusawa Inn. It smells good. I'm not sure exactly what's for lunch here, but we'll find out here in a minute. You could either sit inside with these little cubicles, which seem quite odd to me, or you could sit outside. Jen, do you want to sit in the cubicles or do you want to sit outside? Do you like these cubicles with the plexiglass? Okay. Korean rice.
After all their questions.
I got that fried rice dish that she said is very
Well, I
popular.
guess it does have meat in it.
What kind of meat? Pork?
I didn't even know it had meat, so I had to eat some to investigate. I'm gonna go get some chopsticks.
Sitting outside, enjoying a little lunch with nozama, I think. Nozama, right? And a little soup. Beautiful setting for it. How's your curry, John?
Good.
Fried rice with nozawana. Nozawana are like the little pickled vegetables. They're kind of a little bit crunchy. This is so good. This is one of my favorite lunches that I've had, which is saying a lot because I've had a lot of good lunches here. This is like 1,000 yen, my dish.
1,200.
1,200? About $8. I got the large one. Very good. Tokusawa Lodge. It says it's been here since 1885. It's amazing. Altitude is 1,500 meters. It's around, I think, 4,000 feet or so. If you don't mind like a almost 2-hour hike in, you want a real nice quiet place with good food. You don't mind carrying your baggage. This would be an interesting place. No. Different signs instructing behavior here in this toilet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Jen and I are just having a laugh about the 7 signs in that toilet instructing your behavior. I'm also having a laugh too. This hotel, this Tokusawa, this historic Tokusawa Inn, she's apparently been there since 1885. Wow, that woman working at the front desk. First of all, the young ladies working in the restaurant were just fantastic. They were great. Couldn't have been nicer. But the lady in the hotel, boy, was she did not want us, she literally did not want us to even step foot in that lobby. She came rushing over to, you know, there's an area always in hotel lobbies where you have to stop and take your shoes off. And you got to stop and take your shoes off and put on the slippers or whatever. She ran over to the edge of the area where we would have been taking our shoes off. Did not want us stepping foot in that lobby whatsoever. And just to keep her on her toes, I told her via Google Translate that I'm a writer and I'm writing an article about Kamikochi, which is true. And I just wanted to see the hotel so I could, you know, possibly write something, mention something about it in my article, which is true. And she said back on Google Translate, essentially, I don't give a fuck. You cannot come into the hotel at all. Okay, seems like a real friendly place. Terrific. I'll be sure to come stay here and hike 2 hours from the bus station to get here with my baggage next time I'm in Kamikochi, or perhaps not. Just scurried away. Final morning in Kamikochi, and it is chilly and sunny. It's a beautiful morning. It's about 6:30 a.m. It's around in the low 50s temperature wise. Feels pretty cold out here, but it's beautiful. And had an couple interesting conversations last night at our hotel. I was trying to find out what the population of Kamikochi is, who actually lives here, because you really don't see houses or apartments when you walk around here. It is a resort community. And we met two of the workers at our hotel, and it turns out they're sort of like seasonal itinerant workers who seem to be staffing these hotels and resorts here. And found out that they have a big opening ceremony on April 15th here, and every year, and a big closing ceremony on November 27th. And then all the workers and people leave, and it becomes essentially like a ghost town, from what I understand. The workers that we met go to different areas to work in different places in the off-season, much like some of the itinerant workers who staff like ski resorts in the US and other places like that. But in any case, looking forward to going on our final hike here. Statue here for the Reverend Walter Weston, who was a British mountaineer and also a reverend, an Anglican minister who came here. And he hiked many of these mountains, and he wrote a book about it in 1896, which is published in London, and put this place on the map. Another bridge, another pretty vantage point. Beautiful morning it is. Birds are singing. So the hike we're on this morning is the Taisho Pond hike. There's a lot of the hikes are named after different ponds. So let's check out Taisho Ike. Surprisingly, more people than I thought this morning for early on a Monday morning. Doesn't agree with me, but I think this has been my favorite hike so far. Now we're at the pond, Taisho Ike Pond, and what a spectacular view. I think part of the reason why this is my favorite one too is because this morning we've had the best weather of any of the hikes that we've had. It's been the clearest skies. So pretty here. The water's so cold, so clear. The sky is almost perfectly blue. It's an epic view from over here. It's a hell of a way to start a Monday morning. Waiting for our bus to Matsumoto. I was just going to mention, so we're leaving Kamikochi. The original plan was we were supposed to have a car, so we were going to be going to a couple of small towns, Narai and Sumago, which are called post towns. Well, that had to be scrapped because when we couldn't get the one-way car rental due to the lack of having the original international driver's license, so Toyota Rent-A-Car, which is really the only one that seems to do one-way rentals in Japan, was insisting on having the original one, which we did not have. I only have the copy along with my American driver's license. Not good enough for Toyota. But the mom and pop place that we rented from in Takayama was okay with the copy. But anyways, I think what we're doing now is instead we're going to go spend the night tonight in Matsumoto, and then we are going to spend a night in Karuizawa en route to Nikko. And we're likely going to be first we have to take a bus here out of Kamikochi, and then a train today to Matsumoto, and then I think a couple different trains the next day to get to, whenever we leave for Nikko, a couple trains that day. I think we're going to maybe try one more time on the rental car in Matsumoto, but what it seems like is that smaller car rental places might do it for you if you don't have the original of the international driver's license. But big chain like Toyota, at least the schmuck that we ran into at Kanazawa, who was super rude, wouldn't let us do it. So we're altering our itinerary, moving forward. We've got like, I think 8, 9, 10 days left in Japan. I don't want to leave, man. I love it here. Having so much fun, and looking forward to the next stop. Leaving Kamikochi, checking out of the Nishi Itoya Mountain Lodge. Wrap up about this place. One of the cheapest places to stay in Kamikochi, but it's far from cheap. I mean, if you're alone, or there's two of you, and you're staying in the annex that we are, with the dormitory style accommodation, you know, not as expensive. But the problem, like for families staying in places like this, is it's ×4, so there's no volume discount. So we paid 12,000 yen per person per night, no discount for the kids. So it ends up being like about $300 a night, which, okay, they're giving you breakfast and dinner. And the dinner was very good here. Breakfast, not to our liking, but if you like traditional Japanese breakfast, you might like it. The thing is, you know, that's about $300 per night. And you're sleeping on the floor, at least my wife and I were. Otherwise, you're on a top bunk, which we didn't want to do. So we're sleeping on the floor on the mats. These mats are not as comfortable as some of the other ones we stayed on. The other thing is you've got a shared bathroom, shared shower, that kind of stuff. Usually, when you're sharing a bathroom or a shower, you aren't paying $300 a night. But if you want to see beautiful Kamikochi, you got to spend up, because this is not a cheap destination, but it's totally worth it. So I would say that I would not hesitate to recommend this place, even though it's a little bit expensive. The other thing too, big pet peeve of mine, is they're making us check out at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. checkouts are bad enough, but this morning they came to our room, 9 a.m. checkout. We were like, what? And they were serious about us actually leaving at 9 a.m., which is to me a little nutty, but it is what it is. Love Kamikochi. I'm glad we came. On to Matsumoto. So getting in and out of Kamikochi. So there's no cars allowed there, no private cars allowed there. So there's 2 different parking lots you can park at if you've got a car, one on the east side, one on the west side. They're both like half-hour bus ride away from the town or so. So we took one bus ride this morning that was about an hour long to where we are now, which is Shimashima, I think it's pronounced, train station, kind of train station sort of in the middle of nowhere. Now we're taking a second train to Matsumoto. The first bus ride was about an hour long, no problem at all. Now I think we've got about an hour long train ride, something like that, but you can buy one ticket for the whole thing, for the bus and train together, going to Matsumoto. How much was it? Do you remember, Jen?
What?
How much was the bus and train ticket? Do you remember? Is it on the ticket, the price?
It's about 3,000.
So it's 3,000 yen, so $20 or something like that. 3,260, Jen says. So that's what, $20 or so to get from Kamikochi to Matsumoto, which is about 2 hour or so process, so not too bad.